Isn't Tony a sophomore too?
What? Yeah. Probably. I don't know. We'll figure it out. There's still a few minutes left. Or there's 1 minute left. I'm not sure how many people are gonna join, but I mean, it's whenever you want to start, Kevin. So far, nobody's really given me an excuse. So far, everybody's like unexcused if they haven't joined yet.
Alright, well, we can wait like a few minutes. I don't mind, and if not, we can just go ahead and get started in like 5 minutes. I don't really have like a rush.
Okay, yeah, it's whatever you want to do.
Okay, I think we should go ahead and get started. Since there's only a few of us, then I feel like the best way to do this is just like have it very conversational, and we can just talk to each other about, values and the importance of our values. So if you guys are ready, we can just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I don't think I should introduce myself. I'm pretty sure I know all of you guys, but I guess just in case, I'm Kevin Barajas, graduated this last May, currently living in Chicago. I work in procurement, and yeah, excited to do this. So first, I kind of just wanted you guys to think of someone who has a strong sense of ethics or who stands up for their values. Can you guys give me like names? Whoever comes to mind can be like, somebody in your family and or mentor or whatever, and like tell me why you think they have a strong sense of ethics.
I would probably say my dad, because like normally he sticks to what he believes with, like what he believes in, and like has like he believes that like everybody can be successful and everything. Just kind of like sticks to what he believes rather than like doesn't really believe anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys? Noah and Philip, Gavin.
I'd probably say my dad too.
Why?
He's just very. It's kind of the same thing like Ryan said. Like he's very firm on like if like everybody is able to be successful as long as they work to get it, and that's something he's always kind of preached to me and my sister. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So when you guys are thinking about, someone that stands up for their values and have like a strong sense of ethics, I feel like especially for us guys, a lot of times the first person that comes to mind is our dad. I think like male figures, and sometimes, female figures, if your mom sometimes is the one that does that, but it's somebody that, for one, they have like a clear stance on what they believe in, whatever it may be, whether it's in politics and business or in just how to run the household. And they also tend to have like a very good sense of morality. And so, yeah, it makes sense. Anybody else wants to share? Noah or Gavin? Gavin, I think you weren't here when I got started, but essentially just asking everyone to tell me about someone that they think has a strong sense of ethics and who stands up for their values.
I don't really have any good answers at the moment. Not off the top of my head. I don't.
So you can think of anyone that you feel like has a strong sense of ethics or stands up for their values?
Not necessarily. I'm just on this. I just got back home. Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
No, I understand. I was on your seats not too far ago. I know how it goes.
I mean, I'd like to think that I have a strong sense of morals, and I maybe not up front like push for my morals, but I do hold firm in them, and I will never compromise.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is, and honestly, it's perfectly fine to put yourself as an example. I feel like in my case, I wouldn't put myself as the only example, but I would put myself as one of the examples of someone that stands up for what he believes and has a good, strong sense of ethics. So why is having like a set of values important? What do you guys think?
Like it kind of basically lays a line of who you are and what you believe in, and it gives you a good set of morals to stand by. Hopefully that everybody has like good morals and stuff like that, but it just gives you something to kind of stand by, and it defines you.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail. It's something that you stand by, and in a way it kind of defines who you are. So now I want to circle it back to Sigma Nu, and why are values and ethics important to Sigma Nu fraternity? Any ideas?
Having a strong and a like really well put together sense of ethics for our organization really helps us put a good message out to people, and really helps us get new people to come in and help our kind of cause of putting good energy and good reason out into the world. And so I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like as you were saying, like definitely having values and ethics are important to Sigma Nu, because it helps us create something in a way, like stand by something. But I want to roll it back more into individual, like you guys as individuals. So our recent values and ethics, the reasons why values and ethics are important is that they're directly related to our character. So in other words, like our moral strength. A person of character does the right thing for the right reason, and they know the difference between right and wrong, and they always try to do what's right even when no one's looking. So I think this is something that's really important when you guys are thinking about how you guys behave within and like outside the fraternity. Because if you guys have a good sense of values, that's in a way means that you guys have a good sense of character. What you guys do reflects on the organization, right? And you got to make sure that you're always doing the right thing even when no one's looking. So when you're going to outside parties that are not in the fraternity, you want to make sure you're acting right, because that reflects on your character, and it reflects on the character or in the organization itself. So one of the foremost authors on character education, Thomas Likoa, says that good character is about knowing the good, loving the good, and doing the good. So in other words, ethics is, or character is a short way of saying ethics is an action. So what you do is what you're, in a way, what your values are being, how your values are being presented to the world. So today, I'm just going to ask a few more questions. Just kind of want to make this a discussion. I know this kind of like meetings kind of suck, because in teams you're kind of put in the spot and then there's only a few of us. So you guys are probably going to have to participate a little more than if we had a larger group. But I do feel like this is very beneficial if you guys do like some self-reflecting as we're completing this. So why is living our values important as leaders and as Sigma Nus?
So that way we can like basically put our fraternity like to show that we're really like we're good in light, and we can get more people to try to join us if they see that we're doing good things, and being like having good morals and values.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other ideas? You guys are really quiet.
I didn't really know the whole question. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
What was that, Gavin?
I said I didn't really hear the whole question.
The question is, Why is living our values important to us as Sigma News and as leaders?
I guess having these like the strong sense of like good that we do, and trying to maintain that really forces us to grow and move forward instead of being negative and looking backwards and being like counterproductive. We kind of have to force ourselves to uphold this sense of like responsibility in our nature.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, it gives us a sense of, you know, it holds us responsible to, you know, act right, you know? So beyond, you know, our brotherhood, love, honor, and truth, what other things, what other values do you think the chapter holds right now as important?
I think that we hold like respect very highly. We normally respect all the brothers, and like we respect each other and our decisions. I think that kind of
What was the last part? You broke up?
we like toward each other when we have serious ideas and when we're trying to brainstorm.
You know, that's super important in the fraternity. Honestly, I remember there was a time in the chapter where like we couldn't get anything done because everybody was arguing with each other. Not sure how things are in the chapter now, but it sounds like it's a little better. But yeah, respect is super important. What else? Nothing. How about scholarship? It's like I know that for the longest time, like our chapter would always have like highest GPA of all, you know, IFC fraternities, or would always, you know, get an award regarding like scholarship. Do you guys feel like that's still like an important value that you guys, you know, feel is something that you guys still try to do?
Yeah, I would say that it is. We had a chapter meeting where we talked about like our GPA and stuff like that, and how we're still trying to be number one. I don't know if we're. I don't think we're number one right now. I'm not too sure, but we're pretty high up there. So I think that it's still very important for us to keep our GPA going and stuff like that. And we are doing things with like trying to raise the cumulative GPA. So I think that the chapter really cares about that still. And it is very important just because like, I mean, scholarship in general, like people need money for school. And like the way you do that is like have like actually try in school. So.
Yeah, absolutely. How about, you know, social activities or athletics, like being involved in campus?
In the kind of sports like intramural sports department right now, and I'm I'm also at fault of not signing up for much because I just got to campus and everything. But I definitely think we could totally do more with involvement with other organizations and just the campus in general and people around. I think we could totally do more, honestly, and I think we might actually could highlight that next time we get into a deeper discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that in the bylaws, there's a section where it says that every brother needs to be involved in at least, I think, one other organization outside of Sigma Nu. Is that something that you guys feel is important? And are you guys like still doing that currently?
I think it's important, but it hasn't been pushed. I don't know if we're still pushing it really. I know it's still in the bylaws, but I know a lot of us are in other different things, and I know that I am in a club that I started to be in, like, you know, to meet the requirement as well. So I think we're still going by it, but not as heavy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, totally get that. Do you guys see what the value is on, you know, extracurricular activities and, you know, scholarship and all of these other things that we were just talking about? Like what it brings into you as an individual?
I think having the chapter be involved in more like extracurricular activities and having brothers have to be a member of another like club or something like that on campus, it's good. It's good for the image of the chapter. Like it shows that like we're involved in campus. We want to do things on campus. And I think it also is good for like getting our name out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great for the campus image, but I want you guys to think about, you know, how we could help you. I can do an example, you guys, so you guys understand better of what I mean. You know, while I was in school, I was extremely involved, like outside of Sigma Nu. I was part of Senate. I was an ambassador. Did a ton of other clubs and stayed pretty involved in all of them. And for me, what that helped me as an individual and how it helped me for my values is one, it made me a leader. And when you become a leader, you kind of become the face of all of these clubs and all of these organizations that you're part of, just like you guys are a face of Sigma Nu. When you have, in a way, that pressure, it like, as we were talking about earlier, it kind of not forces you, but it helps you be more conscious about how important it is for you to stand on your values. So for us, you know, love, truth, and honor, that's what, you know, we pledged to do when we became brothers. That's what we're supposed to do at all times. And so when you're in this outside activities and you're become the face of these organizations, then in a way you're having to, you know, uphold love, truth, and honor in the way that you behave in all of those organizations as well. Let's talk about love, truth, and honor. Can each one of you guys tell me how you, like, why love, truth, and honor is important to you, and how are ways that you guys are upholding those values currently?
What was the question again?
Yes, so love, truth, and honor. I want you to tell me how, like, what actions you're doing on your daily basis to uphold those values and why they're important to you.
Normally, like throughout my daily life, like I'm pretty honest about everything. Like I don't tend to lie or anything like that. I normally try to be like as truthful as I can. And normally I'm a very loving person anyway. Like I forgive people for different things. And I think that they're very important values to hold, just because that's just what defines our chapter anyway. But it's also really good to spread that message, because we want people to we're supposed to be trustworthy and like lovable people. Like we're not supposed to be not like, and it's a good thing to have, like, for leaders to have it too, so that way we can be looked at as leaders rather than just like frat boys, you know.
Right, absolutely. What about you, Noah?
In online learning,
What was that?
rather than using computers and online learning to cheat on every exam, I'm still studying and gaining knowledge to do well and not cheat myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's a big one. I can't say that I've never done that because I feel like I've done it. You know, if I had the opportunity and at the end have enough time to study, like I would cheat, and that's not okay. That's not living by our values. So being conscious of that when you're in that situation, prepping ahead of time before taking a test, so you don't have to cheat or you don't feel the need to cheat. What about you, Gavin?
I just got back. I think my teams broke a minute ago, and so I don't know what the prompt is.
The question is, love, truth, and honor. Like, what are actions that you're doing, on your daily basis to uphold those values, and why are they important to you?
I really try to spread love every day. I really try to be kind to those that I encounter, and offer help if I can. And a lot of times, most of it comes in just compliments. I will compliment people that I see because I want to see people smile. Energy out there, I think, is so important because it's really easy to slip into a negative headspace, and it's really easy to ignore the people around you and pretend like they don't exist. So to acknowledge people and to try and boost them up, I think really helps me and them at the same time. It just puts good energy around. Make happy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really awesome, and I mean that's a great way to, do something to uphold our values. Just trying to make people happy, be kind to people. You never know when someone is having a bad day, and sometimes just saying, "Hey, what's up?" or how are things going can change somebody's day for the better. How about you, Philip?
I would like to think that I try to be as truthful and honest to other people as possible, but also with what Gavin said, when given the opportunity, I do like to be as kind to other people as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, have you guys had a chance to watch that documentary? It's from one of our alumni. I think it's called Undefeated.
I have not.
Okay, well, you guys should, take some time one day to watch it. I know we watched it a few times when I was still going through school, and it's actually really good. It's a great documentary, super interesting. But so brother Bill Courtney, he's a Sigma Nu alumnus from University of Mississippi, and he was actually and a star of the Academy Award-winning documentary. So he was the documentary won an Academy Award, and basically it was about he was a coach of this football team, and he pretty much helped them not only win games and all that stuff, but also provided that support that a lot of times people need. And one of the quotes that he said had to do with character and value. And so he said, "We should feel grateful instead of entitled. We have a moral obligation to give back." What do you guys think about that? We should feel.
That's actually a super wise.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's actually super wise because a lot of times, I know I'm guilty of this sometimes, but there's a certain level of expectation that we place upon other people and our environment to provide for us because we're very self-centered in nature. It's very easy to think about ourselves as the main character and everything. But nothing in life is granted, and there's not a single thing that we have today that was not gifted to us by a circumstance or our effort or something. And so everything that we have and everything that we own, we should be proud of and be grateful for instead of taking it for granted and expecting more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's so many times where, we'll do something for someone with the expectation that we're going to get something back. But I think it's very important to think of, I need to just do something good for someone else without expecting anything, Another quote that he said was, "What builds character is a commitment to integrity, hard work, honor, and keeping your word. All that comes straight out of the Sigma Nu Creed." The guy who wrote meant it, and the whole idea is to think about those words and make them a part of who you are. I think that's really important, personally, because everything that he mentioned in there, integrity, hard work, honor, keeping your word, all of those are things that make you successful in life, makes you a better person. And so I want to think about the first word, integrity. What is integrity to you guys?
I would say it's like doing the right thing and being honest, not because you feel like you have to, but just genuinely because that's like it's the right thing to do.
Right, yeah, absolutely. It's just doing the right thing because that's what you're supposed to do. How about hard work?
Work is really hard, and if you don't put in enough effort, and then some, if you don't put in the extra mile that you have to survive and to thrive, you're just not going to do well. You're going to end up finding yourself at a lot of dead ends because you didn't put the effort in beforehand to overcome your obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to go that extra mile if if you want to be successful, if you want to accomplish the things that you want to do. A lot of times we try to pass by doing minimal effort, and you might be okay for a little while, but it eventually catches up to you. So what about keeping your word? I feel like that's it used to be like a very old notion in a way, back in the day when you'd have like verbal contracts and stuff like that. And over time, I feel like it's been forgotten by a lot of people. People just say they will do something and then they won't do it. Why should we always keep in mind that it's important to keep our word? Any ideas?
I think in the simplest of terms, if you lie to someone else, you're essentially lying to yourself. And if you just kind of like slip into this routine of little white lies and just going back on the things that you say to people, you'll find yourself losing a lot of respect from other people, and that will eventually make you lose a lot of respect for yourself. And not only will that hurt your mental health, but it will also impact your actions to make you do more bad things. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. So I have another question for you guys. What are some of your ideas on how you might give back and how you could change the trajectory of brothers that come after you?
I would give them like kind of a defined goal, basically. Like, I mean, kind of keeping it how we've been doing things. I think it's been working. So I think either just keeping it up like that, or just giving them like a defined goal to kind of go toward and work toward, and just to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more ideas?
I guess it's a really unformed idea right now, but I think we should totally like try to inspire the people that come after us instead of just instilling them with the base values necessary to um, become good. We need to challenge them to become great on their own. We don't need to be holding their hands. We need to kind of uh, point them in a direction and say go for it, which is difficult to do in its own right. But
Yeah, do you have any ideas of how we could do that?
Not any definite ones at the moment. But I'm sure I would like to have some more involved and exciting philanthropy events. I think we could definitely do a lot with that, and maybe incorporate more like maybe incorporate more fun and engaging activities in the things that we do outside of the house and outside of our internal organizational stuff. Because if it's just in the regime and there's no kind of competition or drive to do anything, then we'll just be doing the same old, and it will get old eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Changing things up to keep people involved is definitely something that's very important. So something that came to my mind when I read that question, it says, what are some of the ideas on how you might give back and how you could change a brother's trajectory after you? I think about, older brothers, sophomores, juniors, seniors, mentoring the freshmen, like the new brothers, or even, seniors to juniors. Sometimes when I was going through school, my big brother Seth, he sometimes would stay up until late at night with me, just helping me learn for my test. He would ask me questions and stuff like that, and that led me to have good grades, and that eventually led me to get a good job. So that's some little ways that things that you can do to give back to your brothers that in a way can change their trajectory. Some other things can be your brother's going through a hard time and just being there, listening to them, helping them through it. All that stuff can make big impact in someone's life. So it's definitely something to think about. Any other ideas? Totally fine if you guys don't have any more, but I really want you guys to try to think through this stuff. Okay, well, we'll move along, and this is the last question I'm going to ask you guys, but can you guys tell me of a time when you stood up for a value that was important to you? And tell me why you stood up for that value. Why was it important to you?
Probably a value that stood up to me would be honesty. And why the situation that I was in is at work, I would be doing planning different things for the store to have events and things like that, and we could do things we just count numbers wrong and stuff like that, but you really just have to be honest with it so you can have the proper numbers you need. And then just owning up to things that I've done wrong. I normally own up to stuff, so I try to own up to stuff. So I mean, I've never really I've always tried to just be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Noah?
What was the question? Can you ask again, please?
Yeah, the question was to tell me of a time when you stood up for a value and why was it important to you?
Okay. Can you come back to me?
Sure. Who wants to go next?
I guess the most immediate example I can give is I'm kind of standing up for the responsibility of my dog right now. My dog was at a friend's house for like a year and a half because we didn't have really a place for her to stay. My mother moved out, and me and my sister kind of dispersed, and my mom is living with her parents. And so my dog has been kicked out of my friend's house, and I had no choice but to take her here. And now I'm going to absolutely do my best to show her the love she needs to kind of acclimate to this new bizarre environment and keep her healthy and happy and take care of her. It's a lot to put on my plate, but I think it's something that I need to grow, and I think it's something that I can handle, and it'll make me better.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like you're talking about, in a way, like responsibility, taking on that responsibility of taking care of your pet.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's awesome. Hi, Seth.
Hi, Kevin.
What's up?
I just got out of accounting.
No problem. Well, I'm asking them pretty much the last question, but we talked a lot about, values and why they're important to us and how they help us build character. But the question is, tell me of a time when you stood up for a value and why was it important to you?
I would say, I was trying to think of one from my professional experience. I would say that when I used to work for my sister in real estate, there was a lot of agents that were starting to kind of go the way to like find the loopholes in our county's guidelines as far as like historic buildings. And my sister was kind of going in that way. And I kind of reconvinced her to like, think about, trying to convince the other real estate agents that that's not what we should be doing. And it kind of worked for somewhat, like for a little while, and then she switched, but I tried.
Yeah, great example. Do you have one, Noah, or still thinking?
I don't know what you would call this, but when somebody needs a ride somewhere, like their car is broken down or they don't have a car, I try to be there to help them out. Take
Yeah,
them where they need to go.
giving a helping hand. That's actually what our philanthropy is the helping hand. Is, choosing something for you to do good, and a way to do it is, helping out others, giving them a ride, etc. What about you, Philip?
My biggest thing would probably just being honest and like taking responsibility for things, especially like when I'm at work. If I like mess something up, taking responsibility for it and then finding a way to fix it.
Yeah, that's a big one. I feel like a lot of times it's easier for us to blame others or blame a situation rather than taking the responsibility. So yeah, super cool. Well, guys, the last thing I just want to tell you is, it says it here on the worksheet, but I think it's actually really insightful. Where it says, living our values as Sigma Nu is about living the fraternity's, cardinal principles: brotherhood, love, honor, and truth, and of course, anti-hazing, as well as the basic expectations of the fraternity membership, but striving every day to be ethical, to be a person of character, and to become what our Sigma Nu founders meant us to be. So, I feel like it's important to every once in a while just take a time to self-reflect about our values and why we pledge to do them. I feel like a lot of times people choose to join this type of organizations for the wrong reasons, because they want to party or etc. But at the end of the day, when we become brothers, we pledge to this. And so think about doing something, every day where you know that you're holding one of these values or all of them. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for joining and participating. I know it sucks when there's like not that many people, so you have to participate a lot more than what you're probably comfortable with, but you guys did awesome.
Thank you, Kevin. You're the best.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time out to do this week's session for us.
Yeah, of course. I hope you guys have a good night and keep doing what you're doing.
All right, thank you. We love you, Kevin.
Love you.